All right, so you've clicked on centers part 2. Now there's 6 centers, obviously. There's these 4 by 4 making 16 squares on top and bottom, and then there's these 8, the 2 by 4 blocks here. We're going to work on the 8 ones first and then move on to the top and bottom, and that will make sense as to why we're doing that in a minute. So let's go ahead and look around the cube and see if there's anything already done, which there is not. All right, so we're just going to pick something. So let's go ahead and pick the greens here. So let's do the greens first. Now what we're going to do is match them up from this side to this side by doing 180-degree turns. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn this around and move one in. So now we need one in the bottom right. Is there one over here? There is. So let's move it into a different plane so when we put it behind this one, it doesn't move it with it. So you can see it. This one needs to be in the bottom right and this one's in the bottom right. So now we can go like this. And we can see we've made a 1 by 4 block, and that's what we're trying to do. Now we'll put the 1 by 4 block on the side, and we take a look. We've got these ones here and this one. So we need to match these up. And this one needs to come here. So let's put this one on the opposite side. And let's make sure that it's in a different layer than this one. So when we move it, it doesn't affect this one. All right, so this one needs to be in the top left. You can see it. One needs to go in the top left there. And here's one in the top left. Now the other one needs to be in the top left again next to that. And here it is in the right side. So let's go ahead and put it in here, but we need to turn this back. So let's move it upside down and turn it back. So now this one needs to be in the top left, and it's on the bottom right. So turn it to the top left, and now we can move it in to make our next 1 by 4 block. Now you want to match them together. This should be fairly simple. Now we want to do the blues. So we can see we've got 3 here, so let's work on this one, which is not there. So it is this one or this one. Let's move this one in. So this one belongs here, so we need this one opposite of that. So let's go ahead and put it opposite, turn it around so we can bring this back. All right, so now this is in the bottom right, needs to go in the bottom right. And there we go. We didn't affect our greens because they're on the side. So now we can move this one in. So in moving this one in, I need to be able to move it back. So let's move it in this way. So when I move it back, it takes this blue out while we're at it. Okay, so now let's see what we have here. And then we have over here. So I can see that these two are together and we need them in the top left part. So here's one in the top left. And now let's move this one into the top left so we can move that one in as well. And now we can match these blues with these blues. And you can see that we have the blues done and the greens done. So now we need the red and the orange, and it doesn't matter where we put them for color scheme wise, because we can always rearrange the yellow and white being an even layered cube as we see fit. So let's go ahead and see what's in. The red's got 3 of them in. And we see we've got this one here that can come in because the red needs one in the bottom left, and here's one in the bottom left, as you can see. All right, so now it gets a little bit trickier. We're going to have to start splitting up these in order to start splitting up or solving more. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn it any way I want just to separate this from this solved red one here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to match this one up with this one. So this is in the top layer with the solved one in the bottom. So again, this is and needs to be in the top layer with the solved one in the bottom. So you know what? Let's solve this orange. Let's not do the red. Let's solve the orange. Since this one's in right here and here, so we need to go like this, but you can see that we've just wrecked this one. So we need to be able to turn this back, which means we have to replace this with something else, and it'll be this one here. So this one needs to be replaced with this one. So we turn this one down, we put this one up, replace it, and bring it back. And now we can turn that slice back, and we didn't destroy that. So now we just have this piece and this piece. Now, in a case like this, you can see I've got the one we're working on and then the blue. then the one we're working on in the green. So if I was to match this one up, you would see that this red's done and this orange one's done, but now we just have exactly the same thing, right? Except it's green with blue and blue with green. So we want these bars to be the same color. So I have blue on the other side. So let's replace this green one with a blue one. And then bring it back. And now you can see I'm just going to replace a blue with a blue, and I'm going to solve the red and the orange. So now you can see that the red and the orange is solved. Now it's not necessary to match your colors up, but I like to do it anyways. So I match up the blues, and it doesn't really matter what order you put this in at all. Match up the greens. This can also help with a type of parity that we might get. And then the oranges. So now that our centers are matched up, we can go ahead and do the yellow and white. Now it doesn't really matter again which one you do it, because we can fix it later. So let's go ahead and see if there's any 1x4 blocks in, and there is. So white, I'm going to put white on this side, and I like to get one of the outside bars because I have an inside one. Let's get an outside one in. So I can see that this one is almost done. So let's match this up and then bring that back. So I fix the center. Now this is basically 6x6 now. And you're going to start noticing that we're just doing different types of cubes as we're going, except for 6x6 is sort of like doing the last two centers, except instead of being adjacent to each other, they're opposite each other. So let's go ahead and move this one in and put this back. Now I want to get this one in right here, which is almost there. So I need this piece, which is right here. Move it in, hide it, and bring it back. And now I know that this slice is empty on the bottom, so I didn't even have to look. I can just go like this, bring where it needs to go up, turn it around, and put it back. So now we are working on the last center, or the last slice. Now I know that these two columns on this side are filled up, so I can't put this one in because I don't have any room to do it, because it belongs here. But I do know that I can put the corner in because I have the slice here, unused. So what I'm going to do is I don't even have to look. I can just turn it because I know it's there. And I know this has to come here. So I put it here, hide it again, put this here, bring this up to match up here. And now I can put this in. So now we have to commutate only one piece. So I see this one's in the top left. Put this one in the top left. So the single piece is in the top left. So now we want to bring this piece down. This is called a commutator. I'm sure you know this if you know big cubes. Bring this one down. So we've created this line. We want to move that line we've created into a different line and hide that one. Now we want to put it back and then put this line back. So we put that one back, and now we just put this one back. So we have to go over here and put that one back. So that is centers part 2. So go ahead and press edges part 2.